get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
This is it. The American dream.
Let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
This is it. The American dream.
Let's get down to brass tacks here.
This is it. The American dream.
But let's get to brass tacks here.
Randy.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Brass Tacks Podcast, episode 59. I'm your host, Rick, and today I am joined by a special co-host, seeing as though Adam was indicted on 38 counts of sexual assault on a minor. I am joined by my best friend and roommate, Mr. Skyler. How you doing today, my friend?
Greetings.
Also known
I'm
as
doing well. How are you?
Not bad. Thank you for joining us today. And with us, making another triumphant return, we've got executive intern Logan. What's going on, G?
Hello.
And we have got a jam-packed show for you guys. It is officially October. We're going to be introducing a new segment next week called Podtober, where we basically just go after some of the shittiest shows in existence. So if you have a shitty podcast, look out. We're going to be doing that, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of that today and just kind of give you an idea of what kind of shows we're going to be looking at. And of course, in terms of our bad news segment, I'm sure you guys have been aware of everything happening. It's been no shortage of horrendous news from around the world. So just get ready, boys and ladies, and whoever the hell else is watching. It's about to be a fun one. But I was thinking about something. You know how earlier Skyler and I were talking about this old house that we used to live at back in Myrtle Beach. And when I was back this past time, when I was visiting, I was out with some of my friends, Ross and Stank, and we were on a golf cart and we were driving by the old house, and my buddy Ross is like, it's cool to know, because we looked inside the house as we were driving by, and he was like, it's cool to know that there's still people in there throwing down like we used to throw down and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Because you drive by and like, you know, he was like, there's a bong in the middle of the living room and shit like that. So you can tell the same old ass hatteries going down in there. But it also made me remember something else that he mentioned, and I know you're going to remember this too. But we were driving around on the golf course, and Ross brought up an old teacher because we were talking about how it's unfair. Like basically what we were trying to say. Oh, hey, what's up, Rabbi? A hearty shalom to you, my friend. But we were basically talking about how, you know, hot teachers that have sex, like a hot female teacher that has sex with a male student, should be treated differently than an ugly female teacher or a dude teacher having sex with a student. And we were all kind of in agreement. And then we started talking about and I don't want to say her name on here, but the teacher that, you know, was in our old high school, Sky.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Miss, you know, with the, you know, with the smarts all around. It reminded me of just being little shitty teenage cock blocks like we were.
Yeah, what did we do? Throw stuff at the shed that she would sneak back to.
So basically what was going on is, you know, everyone growing up, you had that hot teacher in school that you wish would just fucking grab your hog out of nowhere. And, you know, we all knew this one teacher, and all of our friends, like we could all name, if you're going to bang a teacher, we would all say the same name. And so this teacher, she used to come into our neighborhood at like just weird, disrespectful hours of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
As young teens, Skyler and I were always like hanging out in his backyard. There's a big trampoline back there, so we would just bullshit on the trampoline. And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. This broad comes grumbling up in that fucking red Mustang. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's like almost straight out of the fantasy.
It is.
Yeah, it was red too. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was, dude.
Yeah.
And
or
so,
like a burgundy color.
It was. And so basically what was going on is she was driving into our neighborhood and parking at this house where basically there was this girl that lived there that Skyler and I used to date like as kids and stuff. And she had an older brother who was like our teacher's age. And what we found out was like this bitch was pulling up at like 2, 3 in the morning to go fuck this guy in this rusty old shed in the backyard of their house. And so Skyler and I and like a couple of our other friends were over one night. She comes roaring up in this Mustang, not expecting to see her students. And she gets out of the car and she looks over and like, we're just like, hey, Miss So-and-so, how you doing? And she's like, oh, fuck. She just had this look like, oh, boy. And so she just waved and was nice and everything. She goes in there and we hear their back door open and them walk out to the shed. And it was an old rusty piece of shit shed, like just rusted tin and everything like that. So we heard the door open and close and we're like, dude, there's no way they're not going out into that shed to fuck.
Well, that's where he stayed there. That was his room.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he lived out there.
Dude, I thought he lived in the house and was just fucking in the shed to be like nice about the noise.
No, I think he actually when he was staying there, he lived in the shed.
That's somehow worse.
Yeah, that makes it way worse. So basically as teenagers, you know, we're sitting there like, all right, well, we're not going to just let this guy fuck our dream woman. So we all sneak out of the yard and we cross the street. We trespass in the neighbor's yard and go into their backyard. And we get right up on the shed and we all had like sticks and rocks and shit like that. And we just start hurling sticks and rocks at this shed. It makes this loud fucking ruckus and we all just bust ass back to Skyler's house.
We did that several times. I remember because we tried to get a rise out of her and see who would come out.
Exactly.
We did that a couple times, and I think she eventually left.
Yeah, well, eventually they stopped fucking there.
We fucked up their party.
But what weirded me out about the situation is like, you know, when you're a kid, you like to think that your teacher has her shit together and that she's probably got like an apartment or some place to call her own.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this chick...
This is Myrtle Beach, man.
Exactly.
This is Myrtle Beach teachers.
And that's the problem is like this bitch is pulling up
in sheds.
Yeah, exactly. And so like we're just throwing rocks and shit, being pieces of shit. And I remember we would, I mean, anytime we saw it happening, we had to make sure we threw stuff over there and cock blocked. But it was so cool being back home and just remembering all those little shitty things we used to do.
And it's not like she could confront you at school because
right.
God no. I'd be like, I'm going to start spreading the rumor unless you give me an over-the-pants handy or something like that. If you can't make me blow in my waistline before next period, dude, I'm fucking telling on you.
Oh, shit.
That's, I mean, you all remember. Whoever you are, wherever you are listening, you had as teacher.
Yeah.
There was
really only like two, I think maybe two.
Yes, I know exactly. I know what the other one is too.
Yeah.
The science teacher?
I can't remember what she taught.
She had a weird last name?
I think so. She was a bit smaller.
Yes. Yep. And she had
hair.
She had the smarts.
Yeah.
All around. I do remember that.
The hot teacher for me was in middle school actually, and
what was his name?
Damn.
Teach this kid some fucking mayonnaise.
I didn't actually have her, but my 3 friends did. And the one time I got to sit in her class, we made her have like a mental breakdown in front of the entire class because like we just wouldn't stop talking.
Dude,
like,
we've all seen that when your teacher just has a fucking breakdown. Rabbi says all of his teachers were busted like a can of biscuits. Actually, dude, speaking of breakdowns, Rabbi, so Rabbi and I went to college together. And I remember we had a teacher, she taught 2D design. And she had a lisp or like a weird, like, it wasn't even a lisp. It was a weird tick thing that she would do with her throat. She had like an obsessive compulsion to do this thing that made a weird noise with her throat.
Who was this? Not.
She was a teacher over at the Art Institute.
Oh, okay.
And she would make this thing with her throat where it went, she would do that. And she would do that in between sentences. And yes, exactly. You guys are starting to like chuckle a little bit right now. Imagine her trying to guide you artistically while still she'd be like, yeah, make sure that you add this right here to the side because you don't want
It's terrible.
Yeah, it sounded like she was busting a cummer or something like that. She was just making cumsies.
Jesus Christ.
But all this, like, there was a group of students who didn't give a shit, and they would just like walk into class like, and she'd try to settle us down, and they'd be like,
yeah.
It got so bad. It got so bad that she just finally had a fucking breakdown in class, and she started crying, and it just, I mean, obviously it hurt. Like, I'm not a monster to that level.
Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not funny.
It's one of the greatest things ever.
It's hilarious.
I don't know how you get into that profession with
well,
that kind of impediment.
that's what I mean. It's like,
well, it was a pretty, that's the thing is, like, I'm sure she was like a very nice woman, and I think that she got into it like any teacher. It's like when you see a cop on day one versus a cop in 20 years, you know, your job weathers you and it wears you down, and we all go into our respective professions with some sense of ideology, right? Like, I'm sure teachers, when they're fresh out of school and just getting into the classroom and stuff, they're like, oh, I'm about to make an impact, I'm going to make a change. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's definitely naive because, you know, children, I mean, humans are monsters. You can't expect to go in here and have the undivided attention of these little bastards.
Yeah, they are really big pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's why I don't, you know, God willing, knock on the desk here.
Babies are
I don't have
cool,
children.
Babies are cool. They're chill, usually.
Yeah, babies are straight. They don't give me any problems.
Yeah, when you get those kids, though, man.
Yeah, sure. Especially when they start telling on you.
Those damn kids.
But yeah, dude, it was heartbreaking because she cried in front of everyone, man. It's like, you don't want to see that.
That's like a total breakdown. Yeah.
Rabbi's right. She was kind of cute. She was another one who, like, I don't know, man. When I see hot teachers, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you trying to work? If I was a hot woman, I would be doing everything within my power to not have to work. I mean, and I know that sounds so horrible, but I don't give a fuck. It's my life, and if I'm a woman, I'll do whatever I want to do.
Especially when they're like high school teachers. Like, why are you?
Yeah. Pulling down $22K a year.
Yeah.
Putting up with these pieces of shit. Like, there's no way you could. There's no money.
High school dick, dude. That's what it is.
That's true. Yeah, they're looking for some teenage hog. But no, what do you guys think about that? Like, I don't think that a hot female teacher should get in the same kind of trouble as like an ugly or like pedophilic like kind of teacher, you know, like dude teachers, if you're banging your students, go straight to jail, whatever. Ugly female teachers, if you're trying to bang your kids, you know, I don't know if jail, maybe some probation.
It's got to be the equal treatment, I feel like, but I don't feel like that's equal.
Psychologically, guys and girls are just different anyway. So like a female, I almost said a female boy, a male in his early teens, like if I were 14 or 15 and an older hot teacher was like, yo, let me grab your beans real quick, I'd be like, fuck yes, this is the shit. I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Well, like, probably most teenage boys, yeah, sure. But maybe some would not like be down with that. I don't know.
Well, it's like then no means no. Just walk to your next class. I'm pretty sure you're not going to get raped by the hot teacher.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe.
I think maybe
would. Who knows? I mean, it's a possibility.
I just think maybe like
a weaker beta teenage kid that's saying no to that.
Right.
That might turn her on more. She might start fucking just grabbing for hog, dude.
Kid deserves to be bullied.
She starts grabbing for hog.
She sees his weakness and
that's true.
It's a turn on for her.
Especially, you got to look out. Like, this is something you got to be wary of. A skinny nerd with glasses or whatever, those cats are usually packing heat. We all see it in the movies and shit like that. It's always the unassuming nerd in the corner. You know, all of a sudden he unzips the fly and he's got a fucking rope.
Got some horse cock.
Yeah, dude. He's got to coil that mug around his thighs and shit. Fucking, he's getting vagal pass outs every time he gets a boner because all the blood rushing into one place. He can't stand on his own 2 feet while he's fucking. What's up? What's up, Agent D-Bone? He says, I'm Eskimo brothers with both these men.
Who is this?
Agent D-Bone. Do the math in your head. You know who it is.
Wait, D-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, what up, dude? I can't see the... Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, and for anyone listening at a later date and not watching live, make sure you
and
subscribe.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Brass Tacks podcast and catch us live every Saturday. Punk asses. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, that's just my personal thing. I don't think, you know, I don't think a hot teacher should get in that much trouble. I mean, we'd all be remiss.
We know what it is.
That's the thing. That's the problem with society right now. That's my problem with everyone is like everyone's pretending that we don't already know what it is.
Yeah.
With everything in life. Like we know, like that's my thing about conspiracy theories, man. It's like people that try to like seek these inner like weird hidden truths and things. It's like there's no real conspiracy that's being hidden. It's all kind of playing out right in front of our lives. Like we all know that like there's a bunch of corruption. Yeah, exactly. We're forced to look at it on a regular basis. So like, I don't get it. I don't get why like anyone puts too much stock into conspiracy theories, because I just feel like it's, just go outside for 5 minutes. You'll see something fucked up about the world.
Look at the news. You'll find some sort of inconsistency that nothing makes sense after that.
People get bored. It's boredom, I think. Mostly out of boredom.
Fucking look in the mirror and see a bunch of men struggling with their sexuality. All right, and with that bombing, I think we'll get into bad news.
Well, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Okay, give me the bad news.
Oh,
What's
that's
bad
beautiful.
news?
They're dead.
This whole thing fucking sucks. I mean, this is the biggest pile of shit.
All right, so first order of business today.
The business.
I got a man. We've got a New Jersey hypnotist, and he has been arrested for giving illegal prostate exams to patients, these prosecutors say.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, dude, no, that's fucking, what's his name? They just put the old filter on him.
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yeah.
Oh,
Jonah Hill, if he did
no.
math.
That's probably, that's gotta be fake, dude. Because that's Jonah Hill with the age filter on him.
It looks just like him, dude. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Is it, what is it?
So anyway, we got New Jersey. A New Jersey hypnotist was arrested after subjecting patients to illegal prostate exams, investigators said. The Essex County Prosecutor's Office said patients would visit Robert Bruckner, 55, for hypnotherapy sessions, and he would perform the exams. It is unclear if it's unclear if the patients were under hypnosis during the exams. So wait a second.
Okay.
I'm skeptical in the first place just because I don't believe in hypnotism and shit like that. I don't think that's real. But you mean to tell me this guy had the balls to try and offer? He's a hypnotist, first of all. Why are you going into anyone's ass for any reason?
Yeah.
He had the balls to maybe allegedly offer these prostate exams while these people were just of sound mind. They weren't even hypnotized. There's a question about whether or not they were hypnotized.
I feel like if they were not hypnotized or hypnotized air quotes,
yeah,
on that, there should be no charges. Like if they were of sound state of mind, like
Is that what they were claiming?
They're saying it's unclear whether or not the people that this happened to were under hypnosis at the time. But that also means the law gives credence to hypnosis.
To magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Alleged, yeah. I mean,
to sorcery.
Wizardry. There's fucking hypnotist wizards.
Yeah, that seems a little bizarre. This whole thing just seems really weird because that really looks like Jonah Hill with an age filter. I mean, I'm just not convinced.
It's Jonah Hill's father.
But yeah, that seems a little bizarre. Take him to jail for sure.
Yeah, you can't be putting your fucking fingers in people's asses when you're trying to hypnotize them.
I mean,
I don't understand why that's a viable business though either. Like if you're
right to like use that as well, I guess. I mean, technically, if they were under hypnosis, I mean,
yeah,
they're of sound body and mind. It's fine.
There's just a bunch of married guys running around saying that it wasn't gay because they were hypnotized at the time. That's what this sounds like to me, is like a bunch of down low cats. They were probably just meeting in this place, got caught shoving thumbs in each other's asses, and instead of just being cool about being gay in 2020, they had to find a fall guy, and they were like, yeah, this hypnotized guy, he fucking hypnotized us, threw a thumb in our butts, our wives left us. Fucking yeah, I don't know. That just none of that adds up to me. And now that he looks like Jonah Hill in my head, I can't take that seriously.
He's not a doctor.
No, he's a hypnotist. Like, I don't even know what that...
Like, he doesn't have, like, a side certificate for that.
I don't know. Logan, can you Google and see if hypnotists need, like, certification? Because if there's an actual school or something you have to go to learn hypnosis, if that's a real thing, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. That to me, that's like art school or something like that. Like usually if you're good at art, you already know how to progress on your own. And generally I feel like schools like that, like specialty schools and stuff, they don't really help you in the industries that they're trying to get you into. Half the time they promise you a job, then they just fuck you in the end.
They just want your money.
Yeah.
So you can become a certified hypnotherapist after 50 hours of training.
Oh, wow.
What?
That's extensive.
Yeah, they suggest you should be trained by the ACHE. Figure out what that is.
It's a fucking
for fucking psycho fucking therapists, weirdos that can put people under.
Yeah, dude, and potentially rape them.
Yeah.
Rabbis call them BS on hypnosis.
Yeah, bachelor of science in hypnosis.
And yes, that was a new graphic. Thank you for noticing, Rabbi. You're a very congenial man. That's what I love about you. I'm gonna pop over to the next article here. We've got
American College of Healthcare Executives. So it's recognized as an actual like healthcare.
This is the country we live in. This is the world we live in. Shit like this can happen.
What?
Just no. There's a school for hypnosis. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Hypnosis is fake. Unless somebody can actually hypnotize me, like it would have to be done to me for me to believe that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I don't think any of us have had any personal experience with that, so.
No, and
I mean, I can't say anything personally, but yeah.
Well, that's another thing too, is like because I don't believe in it, I would absolutely allow I would allow anyone to try, as long as it didn't involve anything weird and I didn't have to like eat or drink anything. Yeah. I would absolutely let anyone try to hypnotize me. Because, I mean, they're not going to... What are they going to do? What are they really going to do?
So...
What?
There is one possibility that I think this could actually have worked, and it's a toxin derived from, I think, puffer fish that you can blow in people's face, and it almost does give them a zombie-like appearance, like to where you're able to manipulate them and
I've heard about that, yeah. But is it true?
Like, that's like a
real
site.
thing?
I don't think it's very much like hypnosis. I think it's more of like a...
They're kind just fucked up, like they're just so high.
They're just so violently high that they can't. It's a state of paralysis and stuff like that.
I see. So like the power through the power of suggestion, they can get these people to do shit they probably wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like acid and shit too. I mean, and that's a very mild case of that.
True. Yeah. I mean,
in comparison, it sounds like you don't want to eat people on acid, obviously, but
God no, that's a bath salts problem.
Yeah.
So our next story here. Actually, I'm going to skip this one because I feel like it's just not really like, it's about like, so Harvey Weinstein brought up, he's got like, I think 6 new charges or something like that. Yeah. 6 new sexual assault charges. He's already serving 23 years in prison.
You'll see Adam in there
for rape. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's sitting right next to Adam. He's got 6 more, charges pending now. And like, he's already up there in age. And so we'll just touch on this real quick. He's already advanced in his years on this planet, and he's serving 23 years.
He's a goner.
Yeah, so he's 68 right now. 23 years is essentially kind of a life sentence. I mean, you're not going to push past. I mean, especially in the physical condition this guy's in. It doesn't. I don't see him like
prison healthcare system. It's definitely not going far.
Yeah, he's gonna have like MRSA ass cheeks and all that other stuff. But he's in trouble. So I don't see this dude getting out of jail ever again. I don't think he was ever gonna like live out that initial sentence anyway. But you know, just real quick to touch on it, you know, fucking good riddance.
Peace.
Yeah, unneeded shit bag on the planet. And then, so moving on, we've got, as we all know, we've all heard the news by now, but I feel like we should talk about it a little bit because of all the shit that's going on in the periphery. But as we know, President Donald Trump has tested positive for the coronavirus. And he recently went to, what's that military hospital again? I always forget the name of it. Walter Reed. So he's at Walter Reed Military Medical Center. And so basically what's happening now is a lot of people in Trump's periphery have also tested positive. And another article I found today was saying that 11 positive coronavirus tests were traced back to the presidential debate. So even though Biden and his people haven't tested positive yet, you know, they've all tested negative so far. there's a chance that anyone that came in contact with any of these people, you know, there's a potential for it to still spread even further.
Oh, sure.
Which is it's so dangerous for us as a nation, because it basically destabilizes our entire government.
Oh yeah.
And do you think that's something that's going to be brought up potentially?
In terms of what?
Like for the presidency, or who
is
actually viable to run it? Because if Biden comes down or something with it, or in Pence or whoever,
all of them
if everybody gets knocked out, you know,
all of them are at an age to where it is in that kind of fatal.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially Biden.
Yeah, and so that's the thing too, is like in talking about people's shape and stuff, like Trump's not in good shape, Biden's just really old. I don't know what kind of, like, you know, health wise how he's doing, but
all of them are.
It's just so fucking scary, because like you look at how I mean, obviously there's a chain of command in terms of like who's next to run the country if so and so is not in commission, or if they're out of commission, who comes next. But the scary part is that there's so many people in the periphery of government that come into contact with these people all the time that it could literally be our entire system. You know, a week or two from now, all these new cases popping up here and there.
Oh yeah.
And they've already come into contact with how many people since then. It's just, it's so fucking scary, because
and then our chain
what
of
happens?
Command. Yeah,
like
our
what
chain
happens?
of commands comes down to the fucking embassy in Britain. Like,
some shit like that, or you know, like if military is handed power,
martial law,
some crazy shit like that, and then we're super vulnerable to attack after that. And I have seen some pretty interesting theories about this whole Trump COVID problem. One in particular that I thought was a possibility that it wouldn't surprise me in the year 2020 if this was true. But a guy on Reddit the other night, he was saying, like, what if this is like just a ploy to get Trump, like, because there was exactly 14 days until the next debate.
Careful.
Which is just as long as it takes for the virus to run its course in your system and shit like that. They were saying, like, what if he's faking coming down with COVID to stay out of the media spotlight, garner some an emotional response from his base, and then also maybe some undecided, since the debates were a shit show. And they're saying that he's gonna pop out during the debates, like fully like recovered and fully healed, and like be lauding these untested vaccines and shit that they say they're giving them
with the hydrochloroquine,
all that shit.
That's a big one. I've had a lot of people actually come in like past couple days asking about like whether or not it actually works for the corona.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I've like just had to tell them that there's no actual studies and you'd have to ask your doctor. Like that's
I forget that you work at a pharmacy, so you're gonna see some like crazy behaviors, and that's another thing too, is like people are just ready to believe, and they're ready to believe in anything because they want to believe that we have a cure, or that we have some kind of safety blanket. That's why everyone's so fucked up right now, is that the safety net we all thought we had as Americans turned out to just be non-existent. And now we just want
candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Made out of.
That's exactly right. And like fucking now everyone just wants something good to happen, whatever it is, and so they're ready to believe. Let's see.
And I've actually seen some doctors, I don't know if there's any truth to this, have been telling their patients that the flu shot might actually help protect them against corona. I don't know if there's any actual factual basing to that, but I've had some patients come in and like tell me, oh yeah, the doctor said it'll help protect against the corona if I get my flu shot.
Dude, might just be fed up with like hearing it. And they're like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, here's a flu shot. Yeah, here's a flu shot. Yeah, because those are people that are looking at statistical data. Yeah, exactly. They're looking at statistical data and they're like, you know, I mean, whether or not it's corona or flu, like here, this is like one thing that, you know, here's one more thing to just protect yourself, I guess. I don't get flu shots and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a big fan of vaccines in my adulthood, you know, in terms of like getting a flu shot every year or something like that, because every time I've ever done it, I always get sick. And so I figured, like, if I'm going to get sick anyway, I'll just get sick. And, you know, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues in a while, but like...
Well, that's what the flu shot's supposed to do, that, isn't it?
Well...
It's supposed to kind of...
I don't know if it's supposed to. I know it happens to people.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's supposed to, but it does happen, because it's supposed to give you the actual virus.
For the flu shots, they don't use live virus vaccines anymore for the flu, at least. But my pharmacist kind of explained to me it could just be that your immune system is trying to like recode itself to be able to fight the new form that they injected. So it could just be weakening itself a little bit.
Okay.
So like you could have got like a common cold or something afterward just because few days afterwards.
I could see that because you've kind of
down.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about virology and shit like that.
Come
but
on,
I mean,
doctor.
At least from my simple, humble standing, that makes sense to me. Rabbi says thoughts and prayers. Yeah, thoughts and prayers. The only thing that sucks, like I would be all about like, fuck them. I hope the whole system gets sick and dies off. But like, we are not in a good time as America. Like, we're not in a good place as a country to have our entire system go down. And I say that I say that only because of the threats that we face as a country in terms of, and I'm not saying just your conventional warfare, but like, there's all this espionage shit constantly happening. We've got a lot of countries around the planet that just want to see us fuck up and fade out.
What's going to happen in third world countries that like America has a huge hand in if the whole
China will step in.
Yeah, the whole thing goes down. Or Britain will try to step in, but they'll probably fail.
Yeah, they're I don't know what happened to them. They were once so great.
Yeah.
It's that fucking queen. They got to get rid of that royal family, man. We're just a bunch of turds. I can't wait to see more shit. Like I know we're staying away from the Epstein thing for a while until something new happens, but I just cannot wait for Ghislaine there to get brought up, and like I just want to hear everything. I hope that she sticks to what she said she's going to do and just out some people, because that's what I want to see. I want to see like Prince Andrew and these other scumbags who just basically lived these lives of excess because of who their family members were. Just these pieces of shit. I want to see him outed. I want to see him like hopefully go to jail, if not like get popped.
Yeah,
like Epstein.
some sort of justice system for them too.
Yeah, I think that'd
be nice.
Yeah, that's something that would like kind of restore some like morale to the world. I think if we see that we can take a global pedophile ring and start fucking these people's lives up.
Yeah.
I think that'll restore some faith in the world. Like I know I'll feel a little bit better.
For the year.
Yeah, dude. But getting back to this whole Trump and COVID thing, another detail that I really didn't like about this whole thing is that right away, they're saying that like Trump's receiving these experimental drugs, experimental vaccines, things that haven't been peer reviewed or like even tested on animals or human, like no testing whatsoever. And that to me just seems
foolish.
It seems foolish, and that's what makes me think that maybe that fucking guy on Reddit, there was something to what he said.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I don't think a narcissist like Trump is going to go and just start allowing people to pump random shit into his body. You know what I mean? That could potentially fuck him up. So to me, it makes me more apt to believe that like he's faking COVID and that he's going to pop out during the second debate and be like, yes, it was so-and-so that cured me, like hydroxychloroquine or something like that. He's going to laud some drug. He's going to get a huge kickback from that company.
Careful.
He's going to make a fuckload of money. I know. Teach these kids some fucking manners. But yeah, he's going to come out. He's going to be like, it's hydroxychloroquine. I knew it all along. It's a tremendous drug. It works.
It's tremendous.
And believe me, I know drugs. Yeah. My wife Melania's on him all the time. That's why she always looks like she's squinting, even in the dark. But yeah, it's just, and we're seeing senators come down with it. We're seeing everything just kind of topple. And my main concern is that after these debates, even the small amount of people that were in the room and all these precautions that they supposedly took for these debates, 11 people tested positive. So for a fact it's going to be more than 11. Mm-hmm. It will be more than 11 if it's not already. Like this is all just now news. This doesn't it seems to change day by day. That's the fucking crazy thing about this world is that all of this shit seems to change. And not only
options.
Well, it's not like it's only changing. It just keeps getting weirder and more bizarre and more unbelievable.
This could just be a ploy to try and get the debate canceled in the next 2 weeks to try and get Biden to come down with it, because he wouldn't test positive for about another week out, and he would
that's
still
true. Yeah,
to try and just get it canceled so they wouldn't have a big old shit show like they did last time.
Yeah.
Right, or potentially spread it even more. Because that's another thing too. I mean, we have states, of course. I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised by this, but Florida is trying to they're reopening for business. They're reopening the state when they had they're still having problems. It's not under control, and they're reopening the state. They're like, oh, fuck it, business, took her jobs, whatever. But like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. Why does Florida always have to be the guy that comes up and fucks shit up for everybody?
They don't give a fuck, dude.
It's very odd. Rabbi says Biden only functions about 5 hours a day anyways, shuts it down before the Wheel of Fortune is on. Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, that's with his, well, actually, I guess in a minute we'll move over to presidential Slampaign, because there is a couple of things about Biden that just, you have to, it seems like you really have to catch him on a good day if you want to see him be coherent.
He was wearing wire earpiece during the debate too. Someone took a screenshot and
not only
that doesn't surprise me though.
Not only did they take a screenshot, but it was later on I think like a day or two later
out which model and stuff of earpiece they used.
Well, then they tried to counter by saying it was just a crease in his shirt, and that's why it looked like a wire leading up to his ear. Yeah, dude. But that's the world we're living in. Like, honestly, when I was listening to the debates live, I could have sworn, like, just the timing of the comebacks on Biden's part made me think he was getting advice from somebody. And I mean, same thing on Trump's part too. That wouldn't surprise me at all if both of them had some secret way of cheating.
That whole debate came to no surprise to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a shit show.
Exactly what I would have expected.
I think it was the shit show we all expected it to be, but we all didn't want to admit that that's what we all wanted.
Again, we're pretending. We're out here fucking pretending.
I'm glad you said it like that, because that's what it is, dude. It's people pretending like we are better people than we really are. And the thing that pisses me off so badly about a world, I mean, this isn't just America, but the world over seems to be in that same mindset, because we've all been conditioned to look at the government, look at the system, and just innately know that it's corrupt. So the more corruption and the more bullshit we see playing out in front of us, we just don't seem fazed by it anymore.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier for them to keep pushing these divide and conquer narratives, keep fucking us up as a society, because that's the only thing that's going to cause their life of opulence to fall apart, is if we all organize and we realize, okay, there's something very, very wrong about this system, and we all stop fighting over nonsense. They can't afford to have us unify as a human race. That's the most dangerous thing for the establishment right now, is to have everybody set their differences aside and focus on them.
It's getting to that point, I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it really does feel like we're currently living in the middle of a major metamorphosis, like as a planet, as a people, as a universe.
Yeah, it's just the way our minds are shifting to. Or conscious, the whole thing,
the evolution of technology.
And I think touching on the mind subject, I think that's a good point, because what all of this chaos and all of this corruption, stuff like that, is doing to our minds, it's making us think internally. It's making us focus on what is it about life that makes us happy? What do we want back about our normal lives that made us happy? And that's important for people to do on a regular basis, because it instills morale and self-worth back into you in a society that does not want you to have a self-esteem.
Preach it, brother.
And so it's just, it's kind of cool to be living in these times right now and seeing the metamorphosis. And like, yes, it does suck that all of this is happening, but at the same time, it's so very necessary.
Yeah.
And it's so important for us to do as a human race. It's something that we all have to do together.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's really any way of stopping it, too. I don't know how much control we have control, but we don't have control. It's kind of one of those oxymoron.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing.
We do on our scale, but also in the bigger picture, it's that's in motion, too, and we can't control that.
Right. And that's another beautiful thing about it, is that it's not going to be due to the action. Like, change isn't going to be due to the actions of any one person.
Right.
It's going to be a collective. That's the cool part. So we're in control of like the direction we head in as a human race. We just have to kind of set our bullshit aside, and we have to really stop allowing social media and like mainstream media platforms and shit like that to divide us, because that's all they're doing. I mean, they make money off of sensationalizing shit. They're doing their job. We're not doing our job as consumers, because at the end of the day, we're the product. I've said it a million times. We as the individual citizens, we have become the product. So our information, our data is bought and sold at alarming rates for alarming amounts of money. We don't see a dime of it. So at the very least, we have to realize that along with that kind of comes a responsibility on our end to not be taken in by all the bullshit.
Yeah, I think we became a little too connected with the invention of social media and stuff like that. being able to see what everybody on the planet at every moment of their life is doing, I think kind of fucked with everybody's
and getting
mind.
used to it. Yeah. Like now it's like a normal thing.
Well, not only getting used to it, but forming an addiction around it.
Yeah.
Because people, people will scroll through social media. They'll refresh their feeds a million times just to see if they got like that one notification that gives them that little dopamine hit that they need. And they do that. It's basically like, it's like people used to do with email and shit like that. Like there are people who are addicted to like checking their email and like gaining more email addresses for their newsletters or what have you, whatever the fuck. Yeah. That's the thing is like, no matter what happens, whatever advancements happen in technology or what have you, humans are always going to find a way to become addicted to something. And so that's again, why I'm saying that we as the individuals have more of a responsibility than we're actually recognizing at this current point in time, I think.
Yeah. South Park actually did an episode with the Buddha box, I think in like season 22 about it.
The Buddha box?
Yeah, it was where people were being diagnosed with anxiety, and so they were being able to buy these boxes that they put over their head that projected their phone screen 2 inches from their face and had noise canceling headphones.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
It's coming.
They were blaming.
Give it a couple years.
They were saying they were diagnosed with anxiety, and the only thing that would help them was their phone. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, the integration between everything has just been so quick and like sudden. I feel like that's almost like where we lost control. There was no like what is it? What's going on? It was just like the evolution of all that technology and
right.
So
well, it all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing is like it happened so quickly that it's up to us to then like kind of do, like I said, be responsible, realize it when it's happening, and do something to, I guess, mitigate the bad shit that can happen.
And hopefully we're in that phase. We might still have a chance to kind of like take a little bit of control of that and still utilize tech.
Yeah, I like to think that we are. I like to think that we have time, but the biggest thing is that like in terms of time, you never know. Environmental cataclysm can happen. War can happen. Like all these dumb fucking things that can happen at a moment's notice can just derail humanity at any moment in time. Yep. So like in terms of humanity's mindset, I think eventually we will get to the place where we need to be as a human race. But in terms of time and in terms of like the planet's health and how much we've already done to it, I think we take way more than we give in terms of the planet and the environment and shit like that. And so I think our ultimate undoing will eventually be like maybe something from space slams into us again, like the dinosaurs, or the planet will just, fuck us up through the supremacy of nature.
Yeah.
But either way, with that being said, let's go ahead and segue into presidential Slampaign.
You know I'm totally off script right now.
I know a lot of weed smokers.
Please, Russia, please. He's a bad guy.
The NAACP's endorsed me every time I've run. And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It's the 2020 presidential Slampaign.
All right. So as we touched on a little bit before, I'm sure by now we've all seen highlights. If you didn't watch it live, we've all seen highlights of this shit show of a debate. It was a national disgrace on many levels, and I do want to say for the record, I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I've always enjoyed chaos, and I've always enjoyed seeing a corrupt government crumble in on itself. Like I said, it sucks due to the timing, but I think this is something the world needed to see. This again is going to serve to unite people rather than divide them, because I think what happened was we got these two guys just act a fucking fool and make complete turkeys of themselves. And even the moderator, like this Chris Wallace, man, his voice is super annoying. He is not authoritative at all.
God, it was so annoying.
Yeah, the whole like, Mr. President, okay, and he's like, he tries to sound tough, and he's not sounding tough.
Yeah.
The only guy that could sound less tough is like Lester Holt, with his ridiculous affected voice. That shit just pisses me off. But we're gonna go ahead and I think what we'll do is we'll just watch a couple of clips here, and we'll get some audio and just kind of comment as we please.
We welcome the Republican nominee,
And these are just some
President
highlights.
Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice President Biden.
That fucking doof.
I know. I hate the way Joe came out. That fucking.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man?
I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a
Oh, that was pretty funny, though.
That's another thing, dude. Like, all the little side things that Trump was doing kept making me laugh because, like, I'm such a, like, in video games, online, like, everywhere around the world, I'm a fucking troll. In everything I do, I love to get a rise out of people. I love to get, like, scumbag laughs and stuff like that. And so every time Trump would throw these little, just like a child insult over there, I was like, oh my God, this man is holding the highest office of the United States of America. And he basically just called a guy stupid. He called an old man stupid. Oh, let's see here.
Facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left 2 days early. You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make
what?
sure, because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree.
want to
Hey,
make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
Oh my God. See, in just a couple of seconds of this is just a few seconds of the debate, they have already called each other stupid, and the other guy was like, "You're a liar," and then Trump counters with, "Well, you're stupid again. You were last in your class, not first in your class." It's like, what the fuck has the American, what has our democracy become?
This is the equivalent of a debate held in a 5th grade classroom.
Exactly.
Like,
you know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of back in the day going to, like, I went to a Catholic school on Wednesdays for, like, Catholic classes where they teach you, it's basically like Sunday school, but it was on a Wednesday, and you do it all the way until like 8th grade, and then you get your confirmation, whatever that means. But
what does that mean?
It just means that you're a confirmed Catholic. So I had to go get my confirmation, and it was one of those things where, like, at that age, I was already questioning everything, and I already wasn't sold on the God thing. So I told my mom, I'm like, yo, I don't want to go through with this stupid ceremony and have to put all this, like, time and effort into something I don't believe in. And I remember I went through with it. I went through with it anyway because she was like, "Oh, your grandma really wants you to do it," and, like, I feel like I've heard that story from so many people.
It would just make them very happy.
Yes. So I did it, but this reminds me of the discussions that would take place sometimes in those classrooms, because I would always ask those questions. I was always like, if something didn't sound right to me, I'd be like, well, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Why is it okay for a man to kill his son, for God, just because God told him to make a choice? And I would raise these questions. I'm like, okay, obviously the world's not 10,000 years old. And these things would happen. Oh, well, you're going to hell, or, oh, you're stupid, or, oh, you're not. It's like just name calling and fear mongering because you don't believe in their fucking fairy tale.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's what this debate reminded me of. But let's watch these doddering old fools again.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how
Shut
to do
up,
that.
Chris Wallace.
He has.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. What does that even
Good
mean?
one, Biden. That was awesome comeback.
What does that even mean? You'd be surprised.
Oh, I really can. I can really come back.
You'd be
You just wait.
Don't make me have to come over there, ruffle your pocket square.
that's honestly what it should come down to, is these two old men just boxing.
That'd be amazing. That's the 2020 we all want.
Yeah.
Give these men, go down to the Sudan, go to the Sudan, get some rusty machetes from some freedom fighters, give one to fucking Biden, one to fucking Trump, and let them just go at it in a sand pit, a sand pit or something like that. Like a Game of Thrones scene with the fight with the giant or the mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking giant, the mountain.
The giant mountain
Trial by
dude.
combat.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put a gun in my mouth after this episode.
Wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
The
manifesto.
whole idea.
Let him.
There is no manifesto. Number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just lost
Shut
the
up,
left.
Chris.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Folks,
absolutely
folks,
agreed
do you have
to,
any
and under that
idea
plan,
what
you have
this clown's
socialized,
doing?
They call it
Mr.
Do you
Mr.
have any
President.
do?
socialized medicine.
Mr. President.
Let people know
He doesn't
you're
wanna
a
answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
That was another thing too. So throughout this debate, Biden would touch on a point, and Trump would just not even super loud, just like, "Yeah, you just lost the left.
Yeah.
You lost the left." Every single sentence. Yep, there goes the left.
He's just a prick.
Wave goodbye to the left. The left is so far gone. You
He's
can't
a
even see it.
comedian, though, man. He's a fucking comedian.
He really is. The thing is, the one thing you gotta hand to Trump is that he's just such a fucking asshole. You can't help but watch him.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a guy who goes around trolling and trying to make people laugh a lot, I can see this weird like I get a kick out of watching him. I'm terrified that he's our president. And I'm terrified.
Right. Yeah, he's not doing fucking jack shit for that. But.
And I'm terrified that these are our only two options.
Yeah.
Because of all the infighting in the Democratic Party, and it's all very scary. Like all the infighting on both sides of government, all the infighting amongst the average everyday citizen. It's just terrifying that this is our only choice, and that like we're having to feature this on a comedy show.
Yeah.
The question is,
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
Right. Gentlemen, I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unprecedented.
court.
We have
We're not going to give a list.
This is unprecedented.
Segment. We're going to move on.
A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President.
Did you use the word smart?
They keep calling each other dumb.
So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just...
He attacks the man's entire career in one sentence.
He is not letting up at all.
In 47 years, Joe, you haven't done anything.
Nothing.
You are the last of your class. You're not the top of your class. You can't even remember what school you graduated from.
Don't talk to me about smart, Joe.
And Biden,
You're not smart.
Yeah, dude, don't you ever use that word with me? And Biden's over there hoping that he's not standing under a vent so the rest of his hair doesn't blow off and shit. The man is a walking dandelion.
Just tell you something, Joe.
No,
if you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See,
and it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
Oh, Mr.
Okay.
President,
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016
Hell no.
and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750.
Millions of dollars. And you.
Oh, so for anyone that hasn't seen that story, there was a report done that said Trump only paid what was it, $750
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, in income tax last year, or wait, no, was it 2018 or something like that?
2016.
2016, 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
what year it was.
Which is probably true, and that's complete horseshit because we all
That's
know
total horseshit.
Yeah, we all know the rich are taxed. They're not. It's not an equal playing field. Let's just say that. I think we all know that. We're all aware of that. But it's just hilarious because Trump's immediate response is, "I paid millions of dollars, and I'm proud of it." And like, no, I don't know any billionaire/millionaire who's ever proud to pay taxes. Like, whoever wants to pay more tax. Like, that's the thing is, once you have your money, you don't want less money.
Exactly.
So I understand the mentality behind it, but my problem is the ethical thing, the ethical element or component of the matter, where it's like, do you not see a society, even your local like areas, do you not see suffering being done because of like these crazy inequalities, and you're basically profiting off of that, and you're not paying your fair share even though you have more resources to give.
Yeah.
And instead, like, again, as it always does, the bill always gets handed down to the taxpayer, the average fucking asshole like us, fucking paycheck to paycheck guys.
Yeah.
And we're always the one footing the bill for these assholes who just get to sit here on a global platform and call each other stupid.
Yeah.
You gotta argue like fucking toddlers.
I mean, I'll say in his defense, he probably does pay more than $750. That seems a little ridiculous.
It does.
I mean, that's way fucking low. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's paying his maybe not his fair share of taxes, but he's paying more than $750. I'll give him that.
I would think so. I would hope so anyway. I would hope he hasn't found such a crazy
There would be no
that
loophole that gives anybody that. I mean, I don't feel like I
also don't.
I don't know. I mean,
well, I also don't think that Trump has as much money as he says he has. Like, I think,
it's tied up into like different shit.
Well, yeah, asset wise, I think, absolutely, but liquid, no.
Maybe like not. I don't know, like his personal or something, or like one of his accounts is like
his weed bag.
I don't know. Yeah, that's like his weed tax.
That's it's my pocket money account. That's what I do. I go and get more rouge. Fucking, oh God, I hate
off the bougie bat.
I can't the bougie bat. I can't stand Chris Wallace, dude. I just want to punch him in the face.
There's a couple of words. He possibly did. There's a couple of words he like couldn't say.
Careful, dude. We don't want him crying like my teacher.
You'll get to see it.
He says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And
why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator. And
you're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
Let me just say, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you go first.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully, because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They were called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing.
Let's just take a moment.
What do we have to say about that?
Yeah, let's just take a moment to appreciate the comedy in that alone. These poll watchers. What are these poll watchers going to look like? Look at this, man. I love the hand, the talking with the hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really bad magician trying to convince you he didn't just hide the card in his sleeve.
They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell you what.
Does that mean
I'll tell you what it means. It means you have a fraudulent election. You're sending out 80 million ballots. They're not equipped to.
What are you going to do about that, Mr. President? He sounds like a high pitch. Yeah, exactly. He's like a high pitch Obama. What exactly are you going to do about that, Mr. President?
Sounds like the school resource officer trying to get you to confess that you threatened the gay kid.
Oh my God, you're exactly right. Yeah,
100%.
we could place you at the locker at the time of the crime. No, you can't. I was taking a dump.
People aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President
you think
Biden,
that's good?
Vice President Biden, final question for you.
Why would they say Trump?
Urge your supporters to stay calm
I have 3 extra
while the
ballots
vote
than
is
you.
counted?
It just doesn't make any sense, because why would a mail-in ballot say Trump anywhere on the outside? Unless each individual soldier
shit, dude, they're just babbling up there.
And that's the thing, is like, I would say they're battling, but they're not.
Babbling.
Babbling. Yes, absolutely.
So, if they all say Trump, that means whoever went and collected said ballots had to go in and open all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that illegal?
That's extremely illegal.
Yeah.
I think that we can, and that's another reason too. If you already know it's Trump, why write Trump on it? Why open it if it says Trump? But also, why open it, risk going to jail, and then write Trump on each and every individual envelope or ballot after that? It makes no sense. Both of these guys literally just spent 90 minutes throwing childlike insults at each other, never directly answering a question, and then Trump gets in trouble for telling people to, actually it might be in the rest of these clips, but telling people to go to the polling stations, vote, but also stick around in groups and watch other voters and make sure they're not manipulating. Yeah, watch everybody's polls and make sure you're not bearing witness to any manipulation. So already he's telling people, like, even if it wasn't associated with like Proud Boys and these other like white nationalist groups, like it was, even if it wasn't taken as a direct call to arms to those guys, it's still urging voters to participate in illegal activity, because you're not supposed to go into those voting booths with other people and assert your dominance and try to walk in there and see who they're voting for, see they're not manipulating anything. So either way you look at it, what he had people do, or what he urged people to do, was illegal. Yeah, this whole thing's just not going to work. No, it's not. So all I've got to say is fucking, we're gonna go ahead and bring this in, but I just want to urge everyone out there, keep your eyes glued to the internet, keep watching, because I have a feeling take a red pill for once. Yeah, exactly. Associate yourself with some red pills, but keep your eyes peeled, keep watching. It's only gonna get crazier, and we're gonna keep bringing you the hottest in all these developments and all that bullshit. But thank you for joining us for another installment of the Brass Tacks podcast. If you have any suggestions for the show or anything you want to see covered on here, make sure you send the suggestions to therealbrasstacks@gmail.com. Follow us on all of our stupid social medias and all that dumb crap, because that's where you get your updates. Make sure you like and subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're live on Podbean and YouTube every Saturday, 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. West Coast. And I guess that's about it. Oh yeah, we also have some merchandise on Teespring. There's a link below in the video description. You can get yourself a t-shirt, a liquor mug, or a drugs bag. Because who doesn't need a bag for their drugs, guys? I have all of those things, and they're great. Thank you. And also thank you to our guest host, Skyler, for joining us. Dude, thanks for having me. I'm never disappointed by this experience. Fuck yeah, dude. This is nice. Hey, you did awesome. What'd you say? Don't vote? Don't vote, guys. Yeah, don't vote, everybody. We'll be back next week. Take care. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace.